For the longest time, I've had this idea that I should only do what I do when I feel all picked up and I feel all excited and I'm all in my energy and I'm all in my flow and I look my best and I feel my best. And really, that is how everybody wants to feel, but that is not really the reality of life. So in this video, I want to speak about being vulnerable, being you, being human. So I'm recording this on my phone. The window was open. There might be some traffic, there might be some shouting and screaming and even some swearing that might be taking place outside in the road. And even a couple of weeks ago, I would have not made this sort of video in this sort of way. I would have been trying to do what I always do. I try to find the best time to do it. When do I feel my best? When do I look my best? And I'm not speaking here about not doing your best. I'm not speaking about not being focused. What I'm speaking about is often sabotaging ourselves by believing in perfectionism. So you can only do something when it feels perfectly right for you at the perfectly right time. You can't do it at a different time. That you say, I'd like to maybe record some videos, I'd like to create a course, I'd like to, just have a conversational video to let people know who I am and to put myself out there. But, you get all these things in your mind, like how do I look on screen and what if I do it wrong? And I'm very, very familiar with all of those things, and I know they can be very, very challenging. And I'm going to say from all the experience that I have and all the coaching that I myself invested in, the thing that I've learned is that the best thing to really do is to just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it. Even though you feel the fear, even though you feel the overwhelm, even though it feels like it's wrong, we have this way of judging ourselves next to other people. I've done it for a long time. Okay? Welcome to this video. I'm really just sharing some thoughts here with you. If you are coming back, if you're already supporting my channel, I really want to thank you for that. And if you're new to it, I'd like to welcome you, and I'd like to welcome you on board my beautiful community of love and light. I have been doing what I'm doing now for 4.5 years professionally, and it's been quite a learning curve. I've done it through the start of the pandemic and the lockdowns and all those sort of things, and it's been tough. I didn't just wake up one morning and I felt that, as I'm feeling right now, because I've just seen a client, I didn't just always wake up and say, oh, wow, I feel so peeped up, I feel so in my energy, let's make a video. And even right now, I'm not actually feeling all that peeped up and all in my energy, because I love personal interactions with clients, personal readings and sessions and guided sessions and Reiki and crystal healing and whatever it is. But it is quite draining. And typically before, I would say to myself, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I just need to take some time out. And if that is what you need, that is also fine. I think the biggest thing that I want to sort of bring across to you here is that it's not a game of comparisons. We've got this tendency as human beings to always look at someone else that does what we do or what we'd like to do. We aspire to what it is that they do. And when we measure ourselves by that person, and I'm going to give you a golden tip here today. You can do it with my channel, you can do it with many other people's channels if that material is available. Go look at the earlier material of that person when they just started. All right? When I just started 4.5 years ago, I would literally not just sit down and impromptu talk to you right now about the validity of being vulnerable. Now, here's the thing with being vulnerable though. You want people to see who you are. The truth of who you are, not the projected version of who you are. Okay? And what I mean by that is that so often we give ourselves so much stress and so much worry and so much fear and so much concern because what the fuck if I am not as great as anybody else? So what the fuck if you're not? You are you. Probably about the first 2 years of me doing this, lots of Facebook Lives and, lots of readings, card readings on YouTube and things like that. it was always so stressful to me, and I have to like psych myself up and hype myself up for like 2 or 3 days, in advance. And as I said, I would really need to feel that energy, to connect to that energy. And that's what I needed at the time. But now I've grown and I said to myself, well, this is a professional business and this is me. And I want to help people who really willing, want to be helped and is looking for the answers, willing to put in the work and they're willing to be brave, which means I got to be brave, which means I can't only show you this pretty polished side of me, where you always only see, ooh, Adrian, look at him, he's always in his light, so inspired, so love and light, so enlightened, guru vibes. But at the end of the day, you're just a human being. And we want to connect to people's hearts. And so couple of tips for you, the one thing to remember is that the more people see you, the more people build an opinion around you, the more they begin to trust you because you're familiar. But, please don't, I'm not by any means suggesting that you are using that now to gaslight people. But what I'm saying is that, when you are authentic and when you are real, you're genuine, you really want to show up in your authenticity, then it's very, very hard sometimes, because you are so committed to doing things in a proper way, in a decent way, that in itself can sometimes become the problem. Okay? Remember that we are all just human beings. I'm just a human being. You're just a human being. The people that you are serving are just human beings. And I think one of the biggest blessings that I had in my life, I started working when I was 15 years old. And so obviously I'm 41 and a half now. So, this is the time before like the internet and stuff like that. So all the people that you see on television, like national television and international television, and on movies, which obviously can't just stream whenever you want to. You just see them in magazines. These people like in a completely different league as you. I saw these people from a very, very young age. And I was blessed to really grasp something fundamental at a very, very young age. That all people are the same. People are not the same, but people are more alike than they are separate, than they are different. And people are essentially all looking for the same things. We are looking for happiness and joy and peace and comfort and a sense of fulfillment. We're looking for our light. We're looking for love. We're looking for comfort, peace, a career that gives us happiness, a lifestyle that brings us joy. So you can go to bed at night peacefully and wake up peacefully. Or if you're like a night owl, you go to bed in the morning peacefully. And so whatever your service is, whether you're like me that becomes like a holistic wellness practitioner or a consultant or whatever you want to call me, a coach, a guide, whether you open a pie shop or you become like a auto mechanic or whatever the case may be, wherever you go, let your light shine there. Be you, it's still one of the most profound things when you come from the space of, what can I bring to this space? Why are you in this space? What is it you can bring in this space? And the way that we connect with people's hearts is that we are just authentic and real. And that doesn't mean that you like, oh my goodness, there's so much happening in the world. I'm so overwhelmed, guys. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Or if you feel all down, but you come up like, oh my goodness, life is so blessed. I'm so amazing. Everything is so fantastic. You guys, I can't believe how blessed I am. If that's how you feel, that's also fine. But you know what? No matter how much of a mask we wear, when we are not being 100% authentic, people pick that up on a deeper level. All right? So I'm going to suggest to you, just be you. If you'd like to take a look at someone like Celine Dion, in the earlier part of the woman's career, she was always crying. Wherever she went on stage and interviews and whatever. But that's what basically really made people connect with her, because it was authentic, it was real, it was who she is. She would share her life with people. She would share her life with her audience. She didn't live the whole thing that you're supposed to be the star above there and none of the mediocre everyday life things touch you. I think speaking of Celine Dion, there's something to be said for Aries, because Aries people are just amazing, and it's like nothing gets these people down. So I mean, you know, as some of you may know, Celine Dion has got stiff person syndrome, which can be quite a dangerous sort of, you know, condition to have. And, you know, I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if Celine is okay, because I'm quite a big Celine Dion fan, you know, I wonder if she's all right, and, you know, wishing her best wishes and everything. Literally, later the day, I see that the previous day, the woman rocked up at the Grammys looking fly as fuck, you know, but not pretending that everything is fine, still saying, I've got some challenges. Showing up as yourself, all right? There is nothing in life more powerful than showing up authentically as yourself, bringing yourself to the table. And again, that doesn't mean that you've got any exaggerated displays of whatever, you know. And with all that being said, there is a time to take a break from things. If you're really going through something horrific and you really need some time to yourself, then take the time to yourself, you know. But it takes a lot of bravery to show up on screen. It really, really does. But once you've done it once, you can do it again, and you can do it again. And I can tell you honestly, when you, first of all, you want to have a purpose for why you show up. When you have that, it's great. And so my thing was like, for example, I started with tarot reading. Why would the world want another tarot reader? There's thousands of these people out there, you know. And my friend said, but nobody is you. And, you know, as I said, for about 2 years, I tried to do it prim and proper. I tried to use the right language, no profanities, looking straight into the camera, not looking away, because if I look straight into the camera, I'm connecting to your soul, and it's so much more professional, but that's not who I am. Sorry, Brother White, okay. You know? And so when the pandemic started, the lockdown started, I was doing so badly in my own personal capacity, throwing up, diarrhea, stomach cramps, headaches, crying, whatever, feeling ever so incarcerated. And I will admit that I used to be quite egotistical, because I would be like, well, I'm the man. I'm the Reiki master. I'm the crystal healer, you know, all those sort of things. But all of that really stemmed from fear. Ego stems from fear, you know, because you're protecting yourself against the criticism that may happen. So by the time somebody criticized you already and said, I don't care, you know, until you work through those fears. But then when the lockdown started, I thought to myself, you know what, if I'm doing so badly, then it might be that other people might be doing even worse than me, because, you know, I am this supposed, you know, spiritual practitioner who believe to have myself so together. So if maybe I'm doing this badly, other people can do worse. And so I just went online to be of service of humanity. I didn't think anybody's going to pay me. Didn't think people had money. If they had money, I didn't believe they're going to part with it. So nobody could be more surprised than me when people came to me for, you know, for readings and hypnosis sessions, and I was like, what, you know? And that really all started to happen when I was just being me. And I might start off by saying, guys, I'm not doing that well today. I'm feeling the feels, you know? Other times I'll be like, well, I'm feeling a bit better today. This is what I've done. This is what worked for me. Maybe you want to help with, you try that. I've read this book. I watched this program. I played with the cat, you know? Started an inside vegetable garden. I made this new bread. You know, my best friend and I stayed together during the pandemic. We made this new bread or tried some new tea or whatever. But then to my surprise, because I didn't really know any of these things about being vulnerable and whatever, and maybe I heard it before, but completely disregarded it, because in my mind, who would want me? It turns out a lot of people, you know? From my heart, my beautiful, beautiful person. If you are just starting out or you're challenged by things, I know that it's not easy. But I know that you can do it, okay? I've got some online courses available that you might want to check out if you are interested. All the first couple of lessons are free. But just from my heart, it's in the description, just from my heart. When you show up as you, even though it might be quite frightening initially, it's always easy in the end. Because when you are you, it's like when you don't lie. You never need to try and remember things and memorize the story, because the truth is just the truth. Okay? Sending you lots of love. And if you feel inspired to do your thing to share with the world, know that it's Spirit inspiring you. And there is no reason for why you shouldn't do it. Okay? Ciao.